Hey, welcome to part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, you should probably do so. Also note that there's some footage that was missing out of this video. Thanks for watching. So if you see, there's yellow in here, and then of course a highlight. There's some in here and in here. So I'm going to start off with a little tiny bit of yellow, and I'm going to add that right here. And again, I'm going to add some in above the eyebrow because there was some there. And it's usually the bone structure. Okay, then I'm also going to add some underneath this eye where the lightest shadow is going to be, and across here, and again on the other side as well. And then that's it. Clean your brush. Now you can take the little bit of the lighter one, and in this case we're going to add some for our lightest light right in here. And we're going to add some to above this eyebrow because there's some right here. And then we're also going to add a tiny bit on this side as well. And in here, that's going to stay the same, except for right here, right there. And then we're going to use a little bit of the same yellow here, and we're going to actually add the tiniest little bit of that brown to dull it down. And now we're going to place that color down here. And then we're going to add a little bit right here to the form. And we're also going to add some right here. And like I said before, we're going to dull that side down a little bit, so we need it over there. Okay, that's that. I think that's okay. We are going to need a little bit of yellow down below. If you notice, I don't always wipe my brush clean, and that's because I like having the color that I had prior, especially if I'm going to work in the same color set. That might be a little bit too much, but for right now we're going to leave it. Then I'm just going to take my brush, and I'm actually just going to lay it almost flat and sort of push it and blend it, push it and blend it. And then it looks like this area is a little empty. It needs a little bit of flesh or pink. So let's go ahead and use some of this darker color, and we're going to put that in there. Let's work on the hair a little bit. So we're going to take the dark brown, and we're just going to go ahead and add some lines to kind of indicate the darkest points. And that was a mistake, that little dot right there. So I'm going to use it, take advantage of it. There's always a shadow under the hair, always. So use that to your advantage. Steal from here and put some in here. Now we're going to take some more brown because our hair is dark brown and it's actually curving this way. And you can use a smaller brush if you need, but if you can get away with using the bigger the brush, the better. And then on the other side, we're going to place some of the shadows in the lines. I'm going to take a little bit more of this. All right. If the red doesn't work for you, you can always darken the top lip by using your sienna. Now we're going to take that bottom color. Let's mix a little bit more. Take take some white, mix it with it. Take a little bit of the thinner. And let's see how that works for the bottom lip. So we need to paint the bottom lip. And then let's see. I think the lips are fine for now. Right. And remember, the style of this nail art is more of an oil painting. So we all have our own take on how we paint. So we'll do that there. Okay. And then on this side, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to follow these lines right here. So that's that. This comes at an angle. This comes this way. And so I'll grab some more black and gently put that in there. All right, and that's filled in nicely. Just follow the line of the hair. And we'll do the other side. We're going to do now with some of the orange. We'll go ahead, since we have the sienna on, it won't darken it, but it will lay it in there like that. You can borrow some of this and like that here. Let's add a little bit more to the eyebrow because it looks like it needs it. On this end right here. And I'll be right back. She's completely done. All I need to do now is to mattify her. I'm going to show you the photo. Here's the photo, and here she is. I did want to point out a couple things. So because the previous footage didn't film correctly for some reason, what I did was I used a blue for the eyes right here. So I used this blue for the eyes. I actually had previously, if you noticed, when we did the sketch, that was in sienna. So I took some blue and I just did a little circle for the eyes. And then I cured it, came back and put a little dot in the center for the black, cured it, came back, and then put my highlight in. What I used for the highlights on the eyebrow, however, the dark brown, which is over here. And then I used the sienna in the lightest area, thinned out so that you can see little strokes of hairs right there. Then underneath the nostrils, I combined a little bit of the red and the orange, which I cleaned off on my palette, and put that underneath the nostrils, just right in there. And then, of course, the skin tone or the flesh tone on the top part of the nostril. A little hint of pink, the shadow area. We did the yellow together, right there. Okay, everything's pretty glossy right now because she's not matted yet, but we're going to matte her right now. And I moved it from this beautiful set that my sister did for me. They're gorgeous. In blue because it's my favorite color. The magic happens when you apply the matte finish because it will smooth everything out so beautifully. No lumps, no bumps, just perfect. Now let's put her in to cure. And this is a 60-second cure. I'm going to come back to my palette and I want to show you something that you might run across if you use a thinner. Sometimes the thinner will get hard depending on how long you've had it. And I've had this a little while. So this thinner right here, press on it, it's not moving, unlike the little portion of it that was left from before. Looks like I didn't clean that very well. So what I do to try to clean it is I'll take some alcohol, put a few drops in it, and let that sit for a little bit. These acrylic sticks, which look like orange wood sticks. Okay, when that sits in there for, I don't know, maybe 10-15 minutes, you can start to pry it with this point here on the edges and then around the edge on the back side of the well, the deepest side. And then you can use the other side of the stick, that's kind of on a slant, just like an orange wood stick, and you just start to pierce it up and you can pop that right off and then wipe it clean again with a little bit of alcohol. I'm not going to clean the rest of my palette because they are pretty fresh. So all these colors will remain on here. And the next thing I'll do is just close my lid, for now, even though I'm letting that sort of dissolve with the alcohol, I'm going to close it and set it aside. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this is it. I'm going to take this off of here and put it on the larger one because it's actually much better to handle. So here we go. Look at that. Guys, if you haven't yet tried my gel polishes, you should, because it's an investment in your creativity. It's an investment in you. You'll be able to do so much with this. And like I said, it only takes a little tiny bit, maybe one drop you can fill in your well and test it out and see how good you like it. And if you don't, you don't. But I'm telling you, this is really exceptional gel polish, in my opinion. And it was in the making for quite some time, took months to develop, and it just turned out beautiful. I'm just so proud of it, and I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. Thanks so much. Have a great one. Enjoy the rest of your day, and be creative. Bye-bye.